Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. UrFreshTV Sports, FOE Extra, episode 8. Tonight we have with us to my left, V10. V, how you doing, bro?
Not bad, my bro.
To my right, very excited about this one. Rising Ballers manager, Maz. Maz, how are you, brother?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good. Again, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for locking in. Thank you for the support, following, subscribe, the views. All of it is so much appreciated by myself and Viv at UrFreshTV Sports. So this episode, what we're going to run through is obviously we've got Maz from Rising Ballers. Thank you very much for taking some time out your evening to come across from west to south and give us your time and give us a background on yourself and your own personal story up until now with your footballing story and your coaching story. I know they can be two very different things.
Of course, yeah.
But I think that the beauty of it is you've been coached and now you're a coach, so you can take your experience from player to coach.
Definitely.
And obviously give it back to players. So Maz, give us an intro. I want to know who Maz is. Okay. Where did it start? And I'm talking from when you can first remember your first thoughts in football up until now. If we start with as a player,
okay, and
then we'll talk about the coaching afterwards.
Of course, go ahead. So my name's MAHREZ BETTACHE, also known as Maz. Started football at the age of 3. I just training and playing with my dad every day. Just kicking ball for fun, just learning the basics. Mm-hmm. My dad had some sort of experience in terms of playing football back home. So, he had a bit of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So just started out with him and then, got picked up by Charlton at the age of 6 through playing for actual soccer. Mm-hmm. So that was my Sunday team. Never really played Sunday league. It was just the team that I was just training with because I knew the coach very well from school. Yeah. And I was with Charlton for a year, but I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a journey as well. My dad, was working, etc. So it was very tough to go from A to B. So I pulled out of Charlton and I went to Westway Sports Centre. And this was at the age of 7, 8.
How hard was that? So you're young, so I suppose a lot of that decision comes from your parents, right?
Yeah,
because your parents have the responsibility to have to take you from A to B.
Yeah.
So do you know, I think that must speak volumes as well with your dad had played before. So as a dad, to take that, maybe it's a risk or not a risk, but to say, we're going to take you away from a pro environment to go to a grassroots environment. Yeah. It's a bit of a risk, no?
I mean, like you said, he's a footballing guy and he probably saw the bigger picture.
There you go. Yeah.
Whereas I was just thinking right there and then, and I was a bit upset that sometimes, I couldn't maybe go training or whatnot. But if anything, it's made me appreciate even more when I did get the next opportunity.
Decent. So you went from Charlton to Westway and then we'll take back
Charlton,
from there.
Yeah, so Charlton to Westway. I was just playing under some coaches there. I was part of their development program. Yeah. I was literally there for maybe a week or 2 and got lucky enough to be picked up by Fulham Football Club.
There's the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly that.
There it is, decent.
Yeah, it was not too bad for my dad there.
That's it. Cool. So Westway, I've got family from Labrador. What great facility to have at your disposal for young people in the community around that area, right? Yeah. I remember when I was young, I used to drive over the flyover and used to think a good team must play there because it's got, when you go over the flyover, you see the stand and the pitch, and I used to always wonder why, who plays there? And it's only when you get involved in football and you grow up, then you realise it's there for the, obviously it makes money, but it's there for the community. Like through when I was at Fulham, through the Grenfell stuff, we helped massive, QPR and things like, and it's what it does for the community is massive. As you said, you've gone there. Yep. A lot of your boys at RB go there. Yep. So what was life like at Fulham?
Fantastic, honestly. Yeah. I only have positive things to say about that whole club. Regardless of how it ended or whatnot. Man, it taught me quite a lot. Not just as a footballer, but as a person as well.
Sorry to cut you in. What ages was you there for?
From 9 to 18.
9 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to get that fact.
What was your first initial? What can you remember your first day there?
Yeah, I can actually.
What was it like?
I went straight into a tournament, and it was a bit nerve-wracking, I must say. Like going from playing in the school, always being the best one in the playground and whatnot, to then step into that environment where at Charlton they were good, but at Fulham they were levels above, and it was like, wow, there's 10 of me. Yeah. It's just like, and I just remember struggling to get the ball because they didn't really know me. Stepping straight into, I think it was 9-a-side at the time. Yeah. And my dad just pulled me to the side and said, "Listen, you either get involved or this is your chance gone." So to be fair, the other kids' parents were lovely. They they welcomed me. So then they saw their parents are, you know, being very nice. So they got me into the group slowly, and then started enjoying my football.
They're a very family-orientated club, aren't they?
Very.
Even just from working with the foundation, always want to look after you and things like that. And Fulham's not a club that anyone hates. Like, we're Chelsea fans, but like they're our rivals. But you haven't got bad things to say about
exactly.
Fulham. Do you know what I mean?
Even if you look at their supporters, their first team, you'd see a lot of kids and whatnot. It's a very family-orientated club.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
So that was, what age was that? 9? You said 9.
Yes.
Cool. So if we fast forward to say 16,
okay,
because that's when, you know,
scholarship.
Yeah. What was your? Because I was watching your documentary. I remember you saying the first year you found quite tough, right?
Yeah. So as my scholarship, my first year was very tough.
What was tough about it?
You know, we had a very strong team, very, very strong team. As you can see, I'm only 5'7". I wasn't the biggest. I was technically very good, I'd say. Always knew my next pass, etc. But taking that step from 16s to 18s was probably at the time a big jump.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that at the time. I was just thinking, oh, why is this coach not playing me, etc. But yeah, I'd say the physical aspect was the main one, which was, you know, I'm thankful that they gave me my own gym program, etc. And I worked hard. And then that gap was very, very small towards the end. But yeah, I think just not playing games, you know, training with the team and doing well with the team, and then not being selected on a match day was tough, I must say.
Yeah, because I suppose train well, you got to play well as well. You know what I mean? Training was one thing, then incorporating it in a game is another thing. Yeah. So that was your first year. Second year was more enjoyable, right?
Second year is when I cemented my place in the team. You know, we had a lot of internationals in the team, so to be playing in and around them was really, really good. Yeah, man, I just enjoyed my football, played week in, week out. Probably, I'd say, one of the first names on the team sheet, and that was on merit due to hard work. And yeah, man, I love the coaches there, Kit Simons, Mark Pembridge, so Gary Brazil before then, so it was really good.
Brazil, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Is there any players that you played with at Fulham then that are still playing now?
I tell you what, this is the sad thing, because we won 2 league titles within that scholarship season. Even though the first season I didn't really play, I played toward the end. We won 2 league titles, and not many players are playing at the moment, which is very, very
not
sad.
Playing at all, or just not at a professional level?
Just not at a professional level as what I expected them to, especially in the UK.
Okay.
There are 1 or 2 that maybe passed through that had their breakthrough, like Corley Woodrow, etc. But players that, you know, should have cemented themselves week in, week out at top clubs, there was no opportunity at the time.
Because Corley was like the next big thing at one point.
Luton Town came to Fulham.
And score goals for fun.
Literally.
Yeah, I remember that name obviously just from being there, and then obviously the next generation coming through after that was like Pat Roberts.
Yeah, Pat Roberts.
What a player though.
Musa Dembele. Do you remember we went to the FAU Cup finals? Remember that?
Unreal. That
was his 2 legs.
I mean, so I was watching Messi live.
Literally. So I was maybe under 18s, and he was about 14, 15 at the time, and he was coming up to train with us, and we had a solid team, so it was fair play to him.
Yeah. So second year scholar, cemented your place. Obviously going into 18, looking for a pro.
Yep.
What was the situation then?
It was a tough one. It was, you know, I was getting very, very good comments week in, week out. Yeah, you're playing well. Carry on how you are. You know, you'll definitely get a pro. At the time, Roy Hodgson was manager. It was, you know, things were really good.
Yeah.
His management staff loved me as well. They loved the whole under 18s team and the setup. And then he lost the job, and Martin Yeo came in, and things changed from there.
Do you know what?
Wow. Yeah. No,
even as a player, like I've played at levels, but even at semi-pro, I remember playing well.
Yeah.
New Gaffer come in.
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you're not his type of player.
So when he came in, Maz, just let me ask you, was it instant change? Like, did he even have a look at you guys?
Well, listen, when he came in, I looked at my dad, and it was like literally rubbing our fingers together, hands together, thinking, oh, he loves technical players.
Yeah, that's a bit of you.
He's a bit of, you know, he's Dutch. You know, he's got that background. You know, this is my chance here.
Yeah.
Carried on training for 2-3 weeks, and then we had the FA Youth Cup game, and I got left out completely. Wow. And I was starting week in, week out before then. I was just like, hold on, what's going on here?
So was he around on the training ground to look at the youth players, or was he just literally...
Sadly not, no. But I feel that he had a clear message, and that clear message was that I want certain players around. And then certain players came in who were probably under the same agency as him, and players like myself were out the door.
Wow.
Did the model change? Because you see, like the Dutch, so we, in my community projects, we do somewhat of Ajax, and their model is the same throughout their foundation to the football development to academy and first team. So see when the new Gaffer come in, did the model change, or the way you played, the way you dealt with things?
I mean, Fulham's always been a team that, you know, to play out from the back, play good football, you know, silky combination passes, etc. But it was more detailed in a sense when he came in. He wanted it structured a certain way, and it was only that way of playing. And, you know, every professional club, they try and mould it to build a first team. So if you do go up there, it's not foreign to you.
No, it's
so he was very strict with certain elements in terms of how we play. But then again, it suited me, but it is what it is, I guess.
So what happened? What happened next from obviously waiting for a pro? Did you leave Fulham? What was your next steps?
So probably maybe one of my biggest regrets was getting into contacts with agents. I've gone my whole career without needing an agent. You know, I didn't see the point of them. My dad was always my first point of reference. I also had good footballing people around me, so they always, you know, gave me advice. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe a bit of panic went in. I thought, I might need a bit of help here because they released a lot of players, but I was one of the last ones to be told. I feel that they were 50-50 about it. And so most of the players left around December, January. I didn't leave until mid-Feb. So it was, you know, are they going to give me it? Are they not? Am I looking for a next door to open, or am I staying here? So that period there was very tough for myself. So like I said, I got in contact with one agent in particular. He was great. He knew about me from before. We did have some sort of relationship, but, you know, we made it even more solid in that terms. He promised me certain things. To be fair, he delivered at first. Like, even when I was on trial, with Fulham, I was on trial at other clubs just to see how it was. Didn't feel that they fitted me perfectly, so we opted out of that one. And then, I got told, you know, I'm not getting a professional contract, so I sat down with him and said, all right, what have you really got for me? Literally a couple of days later, he sent me over to France. Decent. It was a very good experience. Completely different to England in a sense.
That's
different.
what I was just about to say.
I was about to say that.
You're like the culture, even the culture is different. The way things are run. Like, how did you enjoy the French experience more than your English experience?
Bar the language, I am half French technically. I got French nationality, but obviously I can't speak it. Only my parents do. I loved it out there, I must say. It was very inclusive. You know, there was a togetherness about them. Everyone, you could tell that they were literally a family. In England, I've been lucky enough to be in a lot of changing rooms. Some change rooms and environments, they are a bit forced. I mean, Fulham personally was fantastic because we had the same team growing up through the youth ranks, so we was a family anyways. But going into other change rooms, I'd say overseas was pretty cool, I must say.
No, I was going to ask, obviously, if you was on the Fulham circuit for so long, it always, not baffled me, but I always asked the question, how comes the next option is always abroad? Why is there not other clubs within England that say, do you know what, we've looked at you, Maz, you've been, like you said, you're starting week in, week out. Like, similar to like the semi-pro circuit, I know it's two different circuits, but I would imagine there would have been managers at that time that said, I like you, and then when they heard that you didn't get a pro, might have snapped you up. Why was France the next step?
It's a funny one because I actually met one of my Fulham coaches 2 weeks ago. And he said the same to me, and it stuck with me ever since. And so I know it's only been 2 weeks, but he said you was 10 years ahead of your time.
Wow.
So it was like, nowadays, if I was playing right now, I'd be a professional footballer.
Because do you reckon that's how it works now then? People
definitely.
keep an eye on the young.
People keep an eye out on them. They monitor players' progress from other teams. There's, for example, now Man City have 10 scouts in the West London area alone, let alone the whole of London. You don't know how many they have.
That's crazy.
So it's just
that's a shame, innit?
That's just the outside perspective of how coaches and scouts and whatnot.
I suppose he couldn't tweet free agent either.
Exactly that. I've seen a lot of them, and I tell you what, I've got a lot of time for that one there.
What we spoke about this not so long ago, and me and V were saying we talk a lot about football.
Yep.
One of the easiest things it seems to be in the UK is that young people are released but never given a chance to
Yep.
get back in the game, and that's something I think it's football in this country.
Yep.
That needs to change. I know you have like exit trials and things like that, but there's not enough of that. If you come out one way, there should be at least a route back in.
Yep.
I know in academies now you have to do your level 2 and your badges as a plan B in case it collapses, but if you come out the game, your priority is going to want to be to come back into the game.
Of course, yeah.
Not many people, and we were saying that it's sad how that if you don't get a route back into it, how quickly they go, say you're with a Fulham and it's like, cool, National League, and you end up dropping down.
Yeah.
And what that must do for a young person's confidence is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think when I was watching your stories, you saying Southampton was an option.
Southampton was an option. Trained 2 weeks with them. I was with Luke Shaw, Ward Prowse, like same team as them. Listen, we bossed it, man. Like it was crazy. I played 2 games with them, Reading and Chelsea away. Done very well. So the Chelsea was on a Saturday. They said, yeah, pretty much we're gonna offer you a deal in a sense. So Sunday I went home, collected my stuff, thinking everything's all good. Monday back up there at Southampton. Then I get a phone call late night saying, don't even bother.
Wow.
So
Was there any explanation? Like,
I said it proudly in my story, to be fair, and I'll happily share it here. It was in the sense of, I phoned my agent, he wasn't picking up. Tried to phone Southampton. Obviously, it was late night, so couldn't do anything about that there. In the early morning, next morning on Monday, I phoned Fulham. They said that it was nothing to do with them. They didn't ask for any compensation or anything for me being at the club so long. So me and my dad just took it upon ourselves to fly down to Croydon to his office and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And didn't open the door.
Wow.
Apparently his receptionist saying he's not in there. We know he was. And then we eventually got through to him. And to hear the sum that he asked for behind my back it hurt the time, I must say.
God.
I mean, that's a problem nowadays in terms of agents. Yeah. They look at the here and now rather than what could have been. But it's a learning curve in life that I've definitely...
How old was you then?
I was 18.
So at 18, you've had the setback of not getting your pro at Fulham.
Yep.
Then now you've had a setback that's... Do you know what? It's hard. None of them are in your hands.
Yep.
But I think if you don't get a deal and they give you a footballing explanation,
yep.
as a football person, you have to take it on the chin.
Of course, yeah.
You have to.
Yep.
But the second one at Southampton...
That one's hard to
That's,
take.
yeah.
So
because
So just to cut it short, I wasn't signed to this agent, but because he represented me and took me to Southampton, I tried to almost speak to Southampton and say, listen, he's got nothing to do with me, but because he represented me, Les Reed said to me, no. So it's like, it's almost in a sense is not in terms of blacklisted, but almost like, no, you was dealt with wrongly, and there we go, you have to pay the price. Really.
In hindsight, do you think that if you didn't get an agent to represent you, you would have had the similar opportunities? Maybe not Southampton, but another pro club, because I know your dad was with you through from when you was young or whatnot.
It's a bit annoying that I turned down certain opportunities. Like, for example, I had first choice at Nike Academy, which was running smooth at the time. And you know exactly what that company does and the opportunities it gives. But I said no, I turned it down. So it's, I put all my eggs in one basket in a sense. And that's one thing I'll say for you guys at home. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, man. Always have plan A, plan B, and plan C.
Did you have any experience on the international scene?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get selected a few times to, training camps back home in Algeria.
What was that like?
Treated like kings, royalty, honestly.
Wow.
Like, you go for a little stroll on the beach, you're all wearing the same national team kit. Everyone's obviously there enjoying their time. They're seeing young men representing their country. It's the best feeling.
Sick.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, you're 18.
Yep.
It's not going great. What happens?
I had a family friend that took over at Notts County, in a sense. He had very good links there. So I wasn't signed to the club, but I was just training with them to keep fit on non-contract terms. At the time, the club weren't doing too great financially anyway, so I understood that. And to be honest with you, I just wanted to get in and around the professional environment and just carry on playing because it was so quiet for so long. So, I was just training there for about 6-7 months. Then it just got too much. It was digging into my pockets, traveling to to Nottingham every other week, or sometimes coming back to London. So, you know, I pulled a plug on that purely because it wasn't going anywhere either.
Do you know what? That's what I was going to say. When you said that timescale, do you know, at first you're like, I understand that situation.
Yeah.
If you're going to train and training well,
Yeah.
subconsciously you must be thinking,
I've got,
surely that I might get, because even if they would have said, because from the sounds of this straight away, you love football.
Yeah, of course.
Football is your life. So if they would have gone, you know what, financially right now we can't offer you big bucks, but
We'll give
that's
you
a route
some-
back
yeah,
in.
Yeah, yeah.
And did it get to that point where you were thinking you're
Yeah, it
training
got-
well and
Yeah, it got to the point where, well, what's going on now? I'm spending all this time at the club, you know, probably coming in sometimes at 7:30 in the morning before anyone and everyone, and that's the person I've always been, and probably leaving later than everyone in most days, and not really getting any reward for it. And I know for it was done for myself, and no one told me to stay behind late or come in early, but it got to a point where it's like, all right, I deserve better in a sense.
so then after that it was non-league, right?
Yeah, so it's funny now, he's one of my best pals now, Reese Placid. I was just training in the park, I'll be honest with you. I was by myself, and he was at Woking at the time. And, you know, we just ended up kicking the ball back and forth to one another. Then all of a sudden we built a little relationship. He was a lot younger than me. He was part of the under-18 setup. And, it was just, you know, he was part of the under-16 setup. And he said to me, do you know what? I'll speak to my manager about you and see what we can do. And, you know, I just jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah. So how old was you then?
It's 19.
Trying to think.
19 turning.
Was Giuseppe there at them times?
Giuseppe was there, yeah.
Oh, this guy, When I was at Walton under 18s, we played
Mate,
in the
listen,
FAU.
free kick
FAU
specialist.
Cup.
Yeah.
Bro, he tore us.
Shit.
They had him and I think they had a holding midfielder called Jerome.
Jerome, yes.
These two guys. He was the
Yeah.
non-league Makalele at that time. I
Yeah.
don't know where he went after that,
Yeah.
but he was
he's
mad.
a unit.
Do you know when I played, I thought I don't want to go near him, man.
Yeah,
'cause
he's a
he just-
unit as well.
and he's understanding and reading the game. And
Yeah.
if Giuseppe got a chance, you're finished.
He'll bury it, yeah.
It 1v1, and if you got a free kick within 30,
Yeah.
see you later. Like, bro, I watched maybe 8 months ago. Woking and got like a 100-goal highlight reel.
Yeah.
Watch it.
What?
It's mad. It's mad. He's really on this Raquelme life. Free kicks.
Yeah,
I'm
he is.
telling you,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, man. So what was it like at Woking?
Really good. I went and trained with the under-18s, and to be honest with you, it's not me being big time or anything. I was a lot better at the standard.
I was
that
going to ask
there.
you that.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it?
Yeah, you really do see a difference. No fault of the coaches or anything, or the players, but it's just, you know, it was just a step for me to get back into ball, really.
We were talking, V, when you were setting up, and we were saying that we got a lot of these boys. When we talk to youngsters, I want to be academy, I want to be academy. You ask a youngster, how often do you train?
Yeah.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
So you want to be a pro, but you're training less than a pro, so they're out training you already.
Yeah.
So you have gone from training every day to a couple of days. So the difference should be.
Yeah.
So was you playing? It was 18s for them. You said.
So it was 18s for them. I think I played about 6 or 7 games, and I'm not really a goal scorer, I'll be honest with you. I think I was on 11 goals.
What?
So it was like I was scoring goals from midfield, enjoying my football again. But I always had that bigger picture in my mind that this is just a little step in the right direction. And then Matt Howard, who was the under-18s manager at the time, was also first-team manager at Corinthian Casuals in a non-league season.
Yeah, he'd coached me before,
Yeah, so great guy, honestly. I only have good things to say about him. And he said to me, listen, this under-18s football, it's not for you. Come play men's football and help me out on a Saturday. And to be honest with you, he's one of the only coaches that probably handled me well out of the professional environment. He eased me into it slowly, you know, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. And then all of a sudden, last game of that season, he said to me, listen, you're ready to start. And scored my goal there. And from then onwards, it was just non-league.
How old was you then? 18? 19?
20 actually, yeah, because I've kind of jumped a little there. At Woking, I done my knee, I done my meniscus.
Oh yeah, I remember you said
Yeah, I done my meniscus.
Mike Hill.
So
yeah. Bro,
No, that's Ree's done his meniscus, isn't it? Yeah.
But when I look at this, it's that to have the determination and the grit and the guile to want to stay at it. That's what a lot of these young people haven't got. Determination.
Yep.
I think a lot of people look for excuses. Oh, done my knee. It's done now.
Yeah.
You're 20. Was you with Jamie Byatt and that then?
Jamie Byatt was there, legend.
Yeah,
He's an
legend.
absolute legend.
Was that
man.
Lee Hall in that time?
Lee Hall was
Lee
there.
Hall.
Yeah.
Who else? There's a couple players that was there.
Casuals.
Went Harry Otway there for a little
Harry
bit.
Otway was
Yeah,
there.
that's my
Carl.
guy.
Oh, fuck, right. You played with them all then?
Yeah, man.
Harry was a goal scorer.
Was James Bracken there? No, he wasn't there by then, was he?
James Bracken came as soon as I left.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
His brother was there though.
Yeah.
Danny.
Danny, yeah.
So then, did you get to go away?
I went to Brazil. Yes.
Come and talk to me about it. I watched this. Have you seen this bit? I heard fans were singing about you and.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. I must say, it was pretty
How
cool.
was that? Because I suppose that's what you've been waiting for, like maybe your whole life, isn't it?
Yeah.
To go into to do well in a professional environment, you've gone in with a semi-pro club into a professional environment to play against a professional team.
Yeah.
And their fans are singing about you.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, the whole build-up going to Brazil was just crazy, man. Like, a lot of the Brazilian fans came over to England anyways to watch us play. So some of them already knew about us. But to go out there and get the exposure, and then, you know, as soon as we landed at the airport, honestly, when I say a good 10, 15,000 people there greeted us.
That's crazy.
And it sells out, innit? Bro, it's mad. When I
was
saw the pictures,
big.
it
was big.
The stadium sells out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
I know some people just go Corinthian casuals for that trip.
Yeah.
I
So,
can imagine.
How often does it happen?
never.
Well, that's just because I haven't
Never.
since that. I haven't
Never.
heard them going back there.
Never. I mean, I think they might be having talks here and there. I'm not sure, but the last time they went was 2001, and then when I went was 2015. So there was a big 14-year gap in that sense. But our one was done proper, I must say.
Was your fault? Do well when they can move.
Listen, I'll be
Flamingo.
honest with you.
player
Matt,
Ronaldinho.
Matt Howard actually brought me to the side and said, "Listen, this could be you here, you know, it's just a little something." It's like the Brazilians, you know. But he said, "Just play your game, and you know they'll like the look of you."
Did you
And,
give them some flair?
Listen, Gaffer Maz has got some flair, I must say. No, all jokes aside, it was we had obviously training every day and whatnot, and then we had our time to go and you know be tourists for the day, etc. But training was nuts. When I say we had 7,000 fans watching us train,
That's
and then
insane.
you're going from non-league, I mean, training in Motspur Park on the Astro, very cold,
Yeah.
just about having floodlights, you know, to go into a big stadium and train in front of fans, and they're all clapping and whatnot
Insane,
over every
yeah.
little training goal that you score and whatnot.
Hey.
It was big, I must say. It was big. It was big.
I should have went Corinthian
Nah,
casuals.
So non-league. So your non-league started at
Corinthian casuals.
as that's adults going into men's football now.
football, yeah.
What was the next move after casuals?
I done well in a cup game, Middlesex Cup game against Hendon, and Gary McCann really liked what he saw.
Gary McCann, ex-pro, innit?
I believe so.
Yeah.
He's played his football. Yeah, he's played
Yeah,
now
McCann,
Hampton and Richmond manager. So a very big figure in terms of the non-league scene, very well known, and he liked the look of me. But what he said was, we only had 10 games left of that season with Corinthian Casuals. He said, "Listen, I'll track your progress. I do want to sign you for pre-season. Just stay with them and enjoy your football, and then we'll get cracking."
I suppose that's quite good advice because I think nowadays, young people take that as he's chatting shit. He's not gonna sign me.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, did you get that sense of, like I've heard this before, like because where you had the knockbacks of Fulham and that, is he just another guy selling me a dream, or was your should I get? I'm gonna rip up the last 10 games.
Well, I'll be honest with you. He was a man of his word, I must say. I've never seen anyone drag myself and my dad to the side after a game like that anyways. And literally 2-3 days later, I signed the papers. So it was concrete, which was
Sick.
good.
Decent. And then
Sorry, how old was you then?
21, I believe
21?
now. Yeah.
It's not a bad age, yeah.
So then Hendon, talk us through Hendon. What was it like?
Done well. We had a very good team. The team the season before I joined went to the playoffs and lost in the final, unfortunately. But, you know, solid players in terms of, you know, experience in that league. And I learnt quite a lot there, to be honest.
Cool.
I think Billy Dunn was there for a little bit. I'm not sure.
Billy
when
Dunn,
he-
was
So
it?
I would have come after him. So we had the Aaron Morgans,
Oh, okay.
Casey McLaren.
Casey
etc.
McLaren, yeah.
So Kevin
McLaren was there,
Yeah.
Sam Murphy. So we had a solid team, I must say.
Wow.
Solid, yeah.
How old are you now, Maz?
I'm 26.
What was your birthday? Sunday?
Friday.
Friday. 26.
Yeah,
Happy belated
Thank you
birthday,
very much,
bro.
my bro.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
So Hendon, what happened after Hendon?
Oh, I actually broke my ankle at Hendon, so it was another setback. I had a double break on my right ankle.
From a tackle?
50-50 tackle. It was a clean tackle. I just got there slightly ahead of him. Literally couldn't walk on it, obviously. So I just thought it would probably be swelling or whatnot. Probably maybe just that's a little sprain or whatnot. Ended up going to A&E the night after that game, and broken ankle.
How long was you out for?
Was meant to be 9 months, came back in 5.5. So do your rehab and do it properly.
But that's the truth. Is I had an injury on my hand, and I used to just I'm not going physio.
That's
to
what I
this
was
day
like,
now. I wish I did it.
So
I wish I did it.
I feel that injury. Sorry to cut you. I feel that injury and my knee injury, going into my next club, literally made me a monster. Like I was
So
ready.
what was
for
after
anything.
Hendon?
I went back to Crimson Casuals actually. I had a little falling out with the club captain at the time. No fault of both of us. It was just maybe heated of the moment. Manager thought it was maybe best I parted ways. I agreed. At a time leading up to that, I wasn't really playing anyways. Just sitting on the bench, coming on 15-20 minutes. So I thought this ain't working out. Let me go back to Crimson Casuals and enjoy my football again. Yeah.
When did so obviously I know we wanted to talk about your coaching afterwards.
Yeah.
Had you done any of your badges by now?
Lucky enough that was at Fulham as part of my
program.
scholarship. Yeah.
So was coaching ever part of your football?
Yeah. So even when I started coaching at the age of 20. So even when I was playing with Woking and Crimson Casuals, I was doing part-time coaching on the side.
Do you know this is tough? So did you know from just doing that little bit of coaching? I know you're playing. Did you know eventually coaching was the route you wanted to go? Was the pro circuit still the dream?
Pro was still the dream, but I knew that I loved coaching. I only realised maybe 2 years ago that I really enjoy coaching.
Cool.
To a point where I want to see it as a career.
Cool. And what was after casuals?
After casuals is where I played 55 games that season. Done my thing. Put on a little, YouTube compilation of all my best bits.
We need to watch that.
You definitely need to watch that. Definitely need to watch that. No, it was a good season. We went to the playoffs, lost in the final, unfortunately, to Dorking. And yeah, man, Braintree came calling 2 leagues higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you definitely done your thing.
Do you know how they saw you? Was it just they was following you, or was it the YouTube
a scout
video?
that I'm very close to still to this day, Errol, who helps me with my stains and whatnot. He's well connected in the Twitter scene. He knows literally every single footballer. Yeah. And my video was popping at the time, and
there we go.
Yeah, he just gave me a little DM.
Yeah? That's crazy.
Yeah, gave me a little DM.
He slid in your DMs like
slid in my DM.
No free agent.
Uncle
no free agent. So how was Braintree?
Oh, amazing. Honestly.
Yeah.
They went down that season when I joined, so they went Conference South from the National League. Brand new team. A lot of us coming from Bostik, Prem, etc. All young, all wanting to play higher, and we got promoted in our first season. It was big.
Decent. What was that feeling like? Promotion?
Honestly, you have to be there and do it to feel it. It was the best feeling ever, man. Like being classed as the best team.
And how old are you at that age?
24.
24. So we're coming up now to the back end of up until where you are now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing was Staines after Braintree?
No, I went on loan.
Yeah.
I went to Potter's Bar from Braintree.
Potter's Bar. Cool.
Yeah, I went Potter's Bar. Knew the 2 coaches there, Leo Leary, and he just said, "Listen, come get some games, help us out." So I've done that for a bit, but then went back to Braintree, and then Staines.
Cool. And Staines. So talk me through that. How did you end up at Staines? Did you go there as a player first?
Wharton Casuals.
Casuals. What was your experience like there?
Really good. The manager at the time wrapped his arms around me, made me feel very, very comfortable, gave me the game time I needed, made me feel special. I played, I think it was 7 games towards the end of the season anyways, and I just wanted to get out there and play really, and he gave me that opportunity, so I'm thankful for it.
Cool. And then it was Wharton Casuals then to where you are now?
Staines, yeah.
Staines as a player, right?
Staines as a player. Leading up towards pre-season, I was having a lengthy chat with my dad, as I always do in terms of football. We got football running through our veins, honestly. And it was literally, I said to him, I want to coach in a sense. Yeah. Like I want to take it further. I want to do better. He was like to me, speak to the manager and see if he can give you a little role. And it was literally around 1 a.m. Got deep with my thoughts, man. Deep with my thoughts, I must say. And just gave him a little message and said, listen, can you consider me being part of your coaching team? Don't have to take training sessions or anything. I just want to be around you when you're making those decisions, just so, if I do happen to take it further on in my career, then I know what to do. And he said, yeah, let me get back to you. A week later, the job was mine. Decent. Player coach.
How did you, obviously the player coach, did you ever find times where you think it was hard because you're a player?
Yep.
But then, see, some players might resent you because you're part of the management. So you see, like now, if you're training and V goes, the manager's a dickhead. Yeah. He sees Maz there and he's like, you might go back to the manager. Yeah. Is there any sort of resentment anywhere?
The manager did tell me I probably had a tougher job than him because I had to balance it out from both playing and coaching. Myself as a player, I've always had high standards, to the little details. So being on the pitch and sometimes those little details being missed out by one or two, there were some heated words and exchanges that now I learn from obviously, and I know it's maybe not the right thing to do. Everyone deals with things differently. So it was very, very tough to begin with. Then I slowly got the hang of it in a sense. Also being, skipper of the club, I had to, calm down in a sense. I've always been a fiery character, on the pitch.
You were skipper and coach?
Skipper, coach, and player. So
you had it all going on?
Yeah, it was
free kick taker.
Corners, you name it.
Goal kicks and that. But when you look at it now, it pays off because your role now is what?
Staines Town manager.
There you go. So
I was happy when I saw that tweet, I can't lie. Because especially from a non-league perspective, it was good for them to be able to put trust in someone. You're 26 now, you said?
26, yeah.
26.
So you must be the youngest manager in the league.
Youngest manager in the country, yes.
Yeah, I talked to them, man. Yeah. Told them the facts.
Sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
No, but it's because last year, when I was at Colliers Wood, I was the youngest manager in the combined counties, and it's tough. And you know what I said to Viv is, the job I took at Colliers was hard because I had a lot of friends there.
Yeah.
So he will tell you it's hard to juggle. And I picked up a lot of bad habits, but I learned so much. Yeah. And it's Darren Salmon, who's the current SCR manager. He said to me, I think you're a very good coach, but you've got years to become a very good manager.
Yep.
And do you know what? At the time, I was like, but when I think back now, it is right.
Yep.
Although I still want to manage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's still the dream. That's still the goal.
How are you finding it, Maz? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Honestly,
I'm intrigued.
I'm loving it.
I'm
in my element right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it because you're in control in terms of philosophy, training, and personnel?
Yeah, I'm very big on terms of the whole England DNA and the philosophy and how I want my team to play, etc.
Yeah.
I've sometimes sat in changing rooms and I don't agree with the manager, and I'm a very footballing person. Even though I wasn't maybe taking my coaching as serious before, I still love that side of it and the tactical side and whatnot. And it's now that not in much as I'm in control, because I'm never a controlling figure like that. I like my players to express themselves and do what they feel is right at the moment. But I like being in a hot seat and having to make them decisions and pushing the club forward.
Yeah, that's big, man. That's
cool.
Big.
So that's Maz's player up until coach.
Yep.
Now
it's been an exciting journy, I'll be honest.
It's been good,
there's more to come. It's not finished.
Give him a movie.
Blue story.
Obviously, the badge on his chest is RB. It's obviously Rising Ballers. Rising Ballers have started. They've rung bells for especially the last few years, and it's like, okay, who are Rising Ballers? And we had the chance to come out when you play Kenilworth. And we said before, one of the big things we noticed at that game is we know Kenilworth very well. And there was a point we were saying, Kenilworth, before we saw everyone else, the way they play, the way they're set up, they put on breakfast before games and food after games for a Sunday league team.
Yes,
we say this most podcasts that they're the most professional Sunday team there is in terms of their setup. We see in that game, Kenilworth change the way they normally play. So they went from a ball playing team to being more physical, which showed that they can do both ways.
Yeah.
But they had to go to that way because of how you guys played.
Yeah.
And me and Viv we were gobsmacked. We said Corey.
Corey.
17.
That's the seventh centre midfielder, right?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Man.
And it was a good chance because we know Albie really well. Albie played for me at college.
Yeah.
And he always used to say to me, right, our team, and we come down and I was like, they're good. They're very good, you know. E-man.
Yeah. Solid.
Bro.
Enforcer, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you now. Where does he play Saturdays?
For Staines.
Wow. Okay.
You dragged
Boy,
him in,
man,
yeah?
dragged him in.
How many of the RB boys play for you?
I think 5.
5.
5 RB boys have joined me with Staines.
So, who are Rising Ballers?
So we started off as a social media platform, showcasing the best talent around the world, mainly in a professional setup. And then this is way before my time.
Do you know when they were founded?
Yeah, because I never knew that they started as a social media.
2016, I believe.
Wow. So it's grown a lot in a short space of time.
Yeah.
Cool. So
yes, social media, and then I think they put on a post saying, you know, we'd like to make our own team. Who thinks this is a good idea? Came back very, very positive. So they went through with making a team. They had successful trials, picked a starting 11, etc. It was all going very smooth. And at the time, they weren't part of a league or anything.
Yeah, because I was going to say, how often were they playing games?
Every week. They were playing games every week.
Friendlies every week.
Friendlies every week. They would just pop up on that Monday, for example, and post it saying, we're looking for a game this Sunday, who's available. Standard was good that they were playing against, so it was decent. It was a good challenge for them.
Sorry to cut you off. Did they start recording from the beginning?
They started recording from the beginning, so it was, you know, everything was published online on YouTube.
They documented their journeys.
Yep, exactly that. And this is where I come in because I wasn't part of Rising Borders. I have my own company, PFM Coaching, Pure Football and Magic, and it's just it's just, you know, I started off as one-to-one base. I still do a lot of one-to-ones to this day, but I knew a lot of 17, 18, 19-year-olds from the area that kick ball, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give Rising Ballers a test. So before I even joined RB, in the sense that I saw them as an enemy, we're both from the same area, same ends.
Competition.
I've got ballers, they've got ballers. All right, let's get it cracking. And we got the game going ahead. You know, I would like to say we did lose, but we played some fantastic football. And you know, 2 or 3 of the players that everyone knows them through RB is where they started off with me, in a sense, in that team that I built on the day.
So sick.
And so I just stayed in contact with Jamie and Ennie, the owners of Rising Ballers, as well as Brendan. We stayed on contact, and to be fair, initially they just wanted me to start an academy for them. They knew that I knew a lot of players in the area, etc. You know, see how they can build it. Then I don't know what happened behind the scenes or whatnot, but the 2 head coaches at the time pulled out, and it was an opportunity for me to come in. And
Amazing.
That was in February/March.
Do you think, given your journey in football, it inspired you a bit more to help the younger players and give them a bit more of a solid platform, so to speak? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'll say it out there, hands down. RB is the best platform in terms of promoting the youth. You know, that's what we're about. Shining light on the youth, giving these boys, you know, an opportunity, even our women's team, girls as well, an opportunity to showcase their talent and just show everyone all around the world what they can produce and what they can do on game day.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's answering my next question. I said, what's the purpose? I was going to ask what the purpose was. But
there we go.
Yeah.
You just
shining light on the youth, man.
On the youth. And I think you're relatable.
Yeah.
So see some of these, I was sitting there today and I was watching, we'll get onto in a bit, some of these youngsters' stories.
Yep.
And everyone was the same in terms of knockbacks. And to be fair to them, every one of them had a name in their story, which was Maz.
Yeah.
That Maz helped them one-to-one. So a lot of people resent things and a lot of people find it hard to help people when they went wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's doing that off his own back speaks volumes about you as an individual.
Thank you.
And the fact that they've stuck with you at Staines and things like that, it means they trust you, and that's massive with youngsters.
Yeah, I agree.
Young people struggle to trust people because so many people come and go within their journey in quick spaces of time.
Yeah. I mean, sorry to cut you short. Football is a very, very small world.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know who's going to come back. You might have been working with him in the past, etc. So one thing my dad's always taught me is keep them relationships tight. Like, you know, you never know what happens. And as a player, I've always been like that with my coaches. And now as a coach, I want to be like that with my players in a sense. You know, I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be able to say certain things. And like I said, I'm in a position right now where I can help them on the pitch, but I'm also here to help them off the pitch. And I feel that's missed quite a lot in this country, especially in professional environments, because you have to stay professional and it's your job.
100%.
Sometimes you don't have that, I wouldn't say banter or anything. Well, actually, I can say banter with the coaches. You have it on the footballing side, but away from the pitch, it's not really there.
There we go.
Because it's a different environment. It's literally work, work, work.
And people are living real life as well. So.
Whereas, you know, coming into the non-league system, etc., it's taught me that, you know, it's all right to have some fun around it, man.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not always good.
I think it
serious.
helps you being such a young coach as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think a lot of them can probably see themselves in you a little, especially where I think they respect you as a baller as well. I think that's important.
That's the point I was going to come to. Because I see a video of Maz running from the halfway line and Meg's in the keeper.
I saw one drill one time. I was like, this guy can play.
So I didn't know you played. So obviously, I saw you as a coach. I thought, let me research. And I thought, okay, he can play. So see, certain times, it's going away from the point a little bit, but I remember watching Teammates with Chelsea. And one of them were like, what manager have you played under that can still play? And he was like, Zola, as a coach now, will join in and keep ball. And still mock players. So see certain times. Do you ever join? You still join in? I
join in with the RB trainer from time to time. I must say, I do have to show them levels. I still get upset when I'm on a losing team. I must say, it's football. But I've been very, very lucky to have a group of boys, and in terms of the women's team as well. You know, that I can work with. They trust me. I trust them, and we're all on the same page at the end of the day.
Do you take, so being in a pro game as well and an internal league, the professionalism you had there, have you taken that, like the same standards and that into Staines and into RB?
100%. I mean, if you ask the players when I'm not in the room, they'll probably say I'm the strictest, but I'm firm but fair. And that's just treating them in terms of the real world. If you do want to aspire to go to that environment in terms of the professional environment, you got to have that discipline, and that's a key one. And I feel nowadays, all these Sunday league teams, etc., watching them, forgive me if I'm wrong, they lack some discipline. In certain, you know, it might be with officials, etc. So I'm just trying to get them in an environment and level-headed, and that mentality that, listen, this is not how you act. This is what you need to do. Your feet will do the talking because you're already very, very talented. So it's just adding in those little...
No, it's true. Because that's similar to what Callum's dad was saying to us when we went to go see him. He's saying that obviously he does the training for the kids, but one big part of his sessions is like discipline, respect,
of course.
Do you know what?
Morals and stuff like that.
There's a lot of things you do in football that's transferable to life. So respect's a big part of that. You should be showing respect in everyday life, shaking hands and the way you talk to people. And that's what Callum's dad was massive on. Be on time. Listen. The little things. If they turn up, that's on a 3G. If they don't turn up with boots, they're not allowed to participate. So if you turn up, even train, you can buy Astros that you can play on 3D. No. On grass pitches, you wear boots. And that's what you're saying to me. Because obviously we took Little Man, and T was saying, if Uncle sees him with no boots, then he's not going to let him join in. Do you know what I mean? So it's just... But a lot of people see that as strict. You're just trying to educate these young people.
Exactly what it is,
Do you know what I mean? Because that's... These youngsters need a role model in their life, a lot of them. Quick one. Going back, as a player, what was your highlight of your career?
Highlight?
Yeah, if you have one. If one thing that
sticks, only one?
Give him three.
Three? Only three?
Brazil will definitely be up there. Winning National League South is definitely up there. And I'll be honest with you, my number one would be the first time I signed for Fulham. That's my highlight, because I sat there in the car park with my dad, and I still remember that kiss in the cheek that he gave me. I must say that will sit with me forever.
Do you know what? I'm gonna say something right now. Throughout this whole podcast, I've heard you mention your dad quite a lot, and I think it seems to me that he's a very influential part of your journey. And I think, obviously, without going too deep, a lot of people within our communities nowadays maybe don't have that role model to lean on or give advice from.
Of course.
So it's important, because what I've found in the football leagues and whatnot, a lot of the coaches and managers are from older generation and maybe don't know how to communicate and get their point across effectively.
Yeah.
And a lot of the young kids maybe take it a bit personally.
Of course.
So platforms like RB, I think, are perfect for young players that obviously got the talent, but then they need you guys instill like the discipline, the structure, and let them know what it's like to maybe work in a professional environment. I just want to put that out there. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got a very good relationship with my dad, footballing guy, and if he'll definitely watch this, and I reckon he'll agree in the sense of he's lived his life through my football. If that makes sense.
Does it come to Staines? Does it come on watching it?
Unfortunately, he's had a bit of health problems recently, but my whole career followed me everywhere. Up and down the country. I'll be on a team bus with the players and he's following behind. Stuff like that.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Really, really big.
Cool. So highlights about who, if you can pick one, best player you played with.
Best player.
You're gonna offend some people, man. Where's the Staines squad list?
Right, I'll tell you what we're doing. If we go on the when you was say academy pro circuit and then we go non-league, if that helps.
Yeah, I think that does help structure.
Academy that I've played with,
or even played against.
Against.
All right.
Because I see a picture. Did you play against Chalobah in that?
Yeah.
I'll see a picture. So I saw a young Chalobah in the background. Yeah.
No, I was fortunate in terms of my era was quite big. I mean, SC Don, Zach Ansel, he was my age group. Quality player. Quality.
Technician.
Goals.
Goal machine. Best player I've played with, I'd say.
Maz, you're stalling,
It's tough, I must
not
say
easy,
it's tough. It's in a professional environment, in a training purpose. It'd be Moussa Dembele, Fulham and Tottenham.
Monster.
Beast. Absolutely.
Monster.
Beast.
Do you know? I remember watching again in that FAU Cup, looking like there's certain things he does, and I was a bit like, but I watched him bully.
But it goes back to the point where he's the first one in the gym and the last one out, and that's hand on heart the truth. Yeah. Like he works.
Do you find a lot of the best players have that attitude? Because what I find is the most talented players I've come across my personal life, they don't have that attitude. They're a bit more. I've got it, and it's not going nowhere. Kind of thing.
I mean, I still see that to some extent with Rise and Ballers sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be like to them, listen, technically you're fantastic. You know that you're a great player. Yeah. You might need to get in the gym. Oh, Maz, I don't need it.
Okay.
Maz, I don't need a gym. I'll just skill him up. Like, there's a lot more to football than that. So
there is.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of it, but then that just goes back to mentality.
Yeah.
How much you want it.
Yeah. Is that something you can instill, or do you think you're built with, you're born with?
You can definitely improve it. Yeah. I mean, with one of my players that I'm so proud to have worked with him and how he's gone on. Yeah. Darius Johnson.
Okay.
There can definitely be a switch in that mentality.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's down to the individual. Yeah. How badly does he want it?
And you know what? That was the next thing I got on our agenda is. You just touched on Darius. So I was sitting there today, obviously I had the day off work, and I thought, right, so I've done my research on Maz. Yeah. So we were saying that how he conducts himself as well is very, it's good. So it's an inspiration to young people. So you look on, you sit on YouTube, it's like up next. And I'm like, oh, there's Darius, let me watch that one.
Yeah.
And it was like, Gim, let me watch that one. I'm like, wow. So I got a listen there. So Viv put a thing up on Taste the other day. Yeah. His feet are scary.
Bro,
they're silly.
They're a joke. And probably one of the best in West London.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's even better live in person.
Yeah. But and do you know what it was? It was just to listen to his story. Yeah. Was big because he's been through a lot of people have been through a lot, but to show his resilience and obviously he was saying with his mum having a child at a young age, so he's still a kid having to wanna help his mum and then be a dad. Yeah. But still trying to fulfill the dream of being a footballer. Yeah. So to have to juggle that, and from what we see, he seems like even when we see him at the Kenilworth game, there was a little not a scuffle, but on a pitch, and he even just spoke like a leader. He's like, "Come on, try to." So he seems really humble, but his talent is undoubtable.
Yeah, crazy talent.
Yeah, his feet are ridiculous.
He's one of the older heads in terms of the RB.
How old is he?
He's 23.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the older heads.
Apologies, Taish, if I got it wrong. 23 or 24. Apologies. I should know better. I should know my players. No, but that's me. Just Taish, class man. In terms of in and around the changing room, him and Melvin, I'd say real leaders.
Is that a keeper?
Keeper.
Keeper. Yeah.
How old is Corey?
Corey's 17. I think he's just turned 18 recently.
yeah,
actually,
He surely must like be getting offers for trials because when I watched him, everyone on the pitch was good. Don't get me wrong, but he stood out. Just
listen, I don't think I've personally know whether he's left or right footed. Like hands down, he's talented. And he's going to see this, and I'm going to tell him this. Fantastic player. It's just that mindset and that mentality again. I think that's the bridge and the gap that he needs to work on.
I'm with you to get to that next level.
Yeah.
We all said that game. Him, Taish, and E-Man is a monster. Bro, he's a monster.
How old's E-Man? Sorry,
19 years old.
Bro, it's
And
scary
if you
how
don't know his journey, it's mad. I mean, we will post a video of it, but he's currently living in Colchester because of university, so he travels to London every Sunday to play.
Wow.
Out of his own pocket and whatnot. Obviously, we can't pay. Honestly, what a player.
Just while you touched on the Sunday, how are you finding Sunday League with the? Because what I find is you got a lot of technical players.
Yep.
And Sunday League can get a bit, rough.
Have you noticed that?
Oh, let me tell you something. One thing I love about our Sunday League teams, and I'm talking the RBs, the SE Dons, the Beatties, the big names, all right, the Kenyon Wells, etc. At the end of the day, we've got that urban. We're from Ents. Type. We know how to look after ourselves.
Yeah.
So my boys might seem very pretty and fancy and all the tricks and flicks, but they are.
I think that's
rough.
important as well.
Yeah, they've got that balance in their game, which I feel a lot of teams find a shock.
Yeah.
Because all right, we can't beat them physically and we can't beat them technically.
What are we gonna do?
What can you beat us with?
Yeah.
You know
Rely on the ref.
While we're talking about toughness, to Shay.
Oh,
Bro, so I watched his story.
Yeah.
People are gonna think I got no life. I just watched YouTube, bro. Yeah? I promise you I got a job, yeah. But as I said, like I watched him.
Yeah.
The big thing for me with him is before I saw his picture, I heard his voice.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, he's got that road vocabulary.
Yeah.
So he's very relatable, but he has a fan but he's Sheffield United.
Is this little baby?
Little baby.
Hey,
So
shout
this
out
guy,
Little
little baby, yeah. So it's just he clips.
Yeah.
He's young, and I'm seeing dumpy people on the pitch.
Yeah,
but you know, like he's on this, he can see people running to him. He's like, let me just show him my shoulder quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And
cold,
it's like,
he's
and I
cold.
watched him, but I was just more how everyone's got a story, how relatable he is to a modern day youngster.
Yeah.
He still has that raw vocabulary.
Yep.
He still has that raw mentality.
Yep.
And he's still got that raw ability.
Yeah.
But he's still doing very well.
Yep.
And he has a positive mindset now to where he wants to be.
Yeah.
Because even when he talks about his story, he says like, when they told me they want to sign me, I was like, yeah, cool. He said, but when I got home,
Exactly. Yeah.
like how happy he was,
Yep.
not for him, for his mum,
Yep.
his dad, his grandma.
That's deep.
And I was like, that's big. And you guys have played part in that because of the morals they're installing in these young people
Yep.
at RB.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and I was watching that. But it's just, and again,
crazy,
then
man.
another video come up. In a man.
When I say probably the most techiest player I've ever seen, professional and non-professional environment, in terms of his freestyling and whatnot, this kid is a joke.
So he was.
I don't think I've seen this Illiman.
Make sure
I'm
see
gonna YouTube it tonight.
Honestly,
Don't worry, I'm
you
gonna
could be
YouTube
the
it tonight.
So Illiman started in France, I believe.
Yep, started in France.
And then went to Sierra Leone,
Senegal.
Senegal.
Yep.
And then I was just watching. It was like, and then he come to England.
Yeah.
Couldn't talk English.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went to a football camp
Yep.
at United.
Yep.
And then he got noticed, and it's like, wow, like the kid can play. I don't know where he's at, but there's a clip of him running through like 10 man.
Oh, that was at Boreham Wood when he went college.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boreham Wood College.
Wow.
He literally from the halfway down picked it
Yeah,
up and
but it's
just
just like, but you know, it's funny because as soon as he got
Love
the
it.
ball, he wasn't looking to pass.
Nah.
No, I just see people running,
Yeah.
and he's like, No.
he's a very confident player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Off the pitch, he comes across as very shy. I don't know if that's because of the language barrier sometimes.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like I said, pure talent, up there with
But I
the
think
best.
football's a
So
release
is he
for a lot of people,
at a club now? Like
So he's
pro?
signed with Sheffield United.
Oh wow.
Pro. So
okay.
it helped Tosh in the sense that Illiman signed first at Sheffield United. And then Tosh followed him. So now we've
Okay.
got 2 RB members and a very
Massive.
good relationship with
Massive.
a Premier League club in a sense. So really good.
Cool. Then it leads me on to skim. So
Free kick master.
yeah, and do you know what's weird? Because I saw the name.
Is he a lefty?
Right.
No,
Oh,
so
okay.
I watched a few videos, and every time he dead ball, you hear man say he's like the dead ball specialist. Ting ting or something.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we're saying. So, born in Kosovo.
Born in Kosovo, yeah.
Born in Kosovo, came over, and he can ball. Like he can play. But
Ball,
again,
yeah.
the biggest thing about his story was a bit like Maz's. He had setbacks,
Setbacks, yeah.
but never gave up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never ever gave up.
Yep.
And do you know what made me click on it? It had an emoji over his face, and it said "Rising Border Players Sons Pro."
Yep.
So no, like now I'm in. Like no, who is he?
Yeah.
So he signed pro as well.
So he's signed pro from Rising Ballers, and another
So
person
what's
helped
this?
him get over
Okay.
to Sweden.
Yeah.
So it was very, very big.
How many players have you had go from Rising Ballers to a pro environment?
7
That's amazing.
in our first season. So
That's-
it was a
So that shows the platform works.
successful.
So you have a model, the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna be honest. I was talking to Albie today, and
Okay.
he said, ask Maz, PK. He said, ask Maz about PK.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know who PK is.
Listen,
Yeah,
this
Whilst
is one of the
about-
only players that can switch it on and switch it off when he wants to.
Yeah.
And I've seen it live. I mean, we played Beatties
Yeah.
first half. Didn't have a great half.
Yeah.
We're losing 2-1. Sorry, not Beatties. Hidden Talent.
Hidden talent.
Did he score the winner?
He scored the winner.
The banger.
No,
Was that-
he scored the chip,
Yeah.
the lob.
Okay, yeah.
I love a chip.
Yeah.
I have to watch that.
Keeper came out and dinked it over him.
The Albie just said, I'm not gonna tell. I won't ruin it, but just ask Maz about
Machine and an absolute character.
Yeah.
On the pitch, off the pitch. Like when I say he's having fun on the pitch,
Yeah.
he's joking around. He'll start doing high knees, clapping his hands and whatnot.
Is it?
Yeah.
I need to watch this guy. I need to
Absolutely.
watch him.
In a sense, violating.
So is he still at RB or has he gone pro?
No, so he's a pro at Colchester and
Wow.
currently on
You lot
loan.
are turning him
at the
out,
moment.
boy.
So yeah, man, he's another one that's done well.
How does this make you feel? Like when you see this, is because I think it's in a sense you're quite modest
Yeah.
because they've got the pro, but you obviously had a lot. Because as I said, when I watch these videos, his face is there and his name pops up.
Yeah.
I think Darius' exact words was the main man, Maz.
Yeah.
So you've got a very big part in this, and it's all you're not. From what we hear, you're not asking for anything in return.
No, not
It
at
makes
all,
you
no.
happy
Yeah.
to know that you've been part of their progression.
Yep.
And the fact is, it's not just the ones that are going pro. Remember, he said that he's got 7 that are gone pro, and he's still got 5 that play with him at Staines.
That's
so
important.
you're a massive part of these young people's lives. So I think from us at UrFresh, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
man,
very
because
much.
please.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So what's the future for Rising Ballers?
Continue making
Yeah.
pros, man.
Yeah.
Ballers, you know. We've got one aim, man. At the end of the day, is to get these boys, girls, you name it, off the streets.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly have talent.
Yeah.
Let's work with you guys. Let's give you everything. We don't ask for anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man. It's
Do you
your time
guys
to
train?
shine.
Sorry to cut you off. Do
Yeah,
you
we
guys
train. We already started training recently. So
Okay.
up until I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, we didn't train at all. So we were just
Wow.
turning up on a Sunday,
And playing.
playing and pumping teams and going home. Sorry, I had to add that.
Turn up.
So in terms of the Sunday league, how are you getting on?
Doing very well in the league so far, top of the league. A bit annoying in terms of the weather recently, so a lot of games called off.
Yeah.
No fault of anyone, but enjoying it. It was very. We had a setback in terms of losing in the Sunday Cup that all these Sunday league teams are in.
Well, the FA Cup.
The FA
Yeah,
Cup.
Sunday FA Cup. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
we
Who
had a
did
little
you lose to? Sorry.
Panathinaikos 1-0, and it
Oh,
was a
so-
freak
so-
game.
But they're supposed to got quite a good reputation on the Sunday league circuit.
Regardless, we're rising borders.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
so,
Use
you know,
favourites for that game.
we go in confident every game, regardless of it is, and I feel that on that day, things just didn't work out for
Snatch and grab, was it? Or
100%.
Yeah.
It was. They can say it themselves. The videos there proof.
Yeah,
90% possession, all the chances in the
I
world.
see
but
this game, and to be fair,
Football's
when the final
undefeated.
whistle went, you would have thought it's a cup final for them.
Yeah, you saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
would.
to be honest with you, that was probably the first time I lost it with RB. Not because we lost, because we had a fantastic
half-time.
record.
I was
I
at
lost it at
half
half time,
Yeah,
and I lost
see
it after the game.
Yeah.
So at half time, I went absolutely mental.
Yeah. So too many touches. And I was like, yeah, okay. Now it's coming.
Yeah, not something that I was proud of. Reflecting back on it, I'm someone that's I'm quite observant. All right, I reflect quite a lot, you know. And initial reflection was, all right, we lost the game, but a week later when that video came out and I saw my reaction of what I done, I was like, it doesn't represent me.
Okay.
That's not me. So I learned quite a lot out of that. But
do you think, see, with the caliber of players you're playing, you're coaching, do you think they need that sometimes? Though? Because do you think, you know, when you win,
yep.
when you lose, especially with the winning run you look on, you lose and you learn. It's as long as you're learning from losing. I always say I don't mind losing, but losing the right way, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So if we're doing the things that they're told to do and we lose, as a coach, I'm gonna have to rectify that because they fulfilled everything I asked for them.
Yep.
So do you think how did they respond to that loss?
They've been absolute machines, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, hunger is through the roof right now. Listen, I'd like to put it out there. 35 games unbeaten. I don't think any team's done that. All right. So, you know, credit to the boys.
How many of them were wins? 35, not 35, surely.
35. I think 33 were wins.
It's crazy.
2 draws, yeah.
Wow.
Is this in the same league you're playing in now then? Or is this just
So, no, this is with the friendlies and whatnot.
Oh, friendlies and stuff.
In terms of myself, I've got currently right now 22 wins, one draw, 1 loss.
Have you played for Rising Ballers before?
I haven't. And a lot of people are putting it in the comments, etc. But it's one clear message I'm going to say. It's not about me.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
All right. In a sense, I've had my career and whatnot. And how my dad lived his life through me, I'm living my life where hopefully these boys aspire to go pro.
Big.
So I'm going to live my life through them in a sense. And it's just giving it back to them. So
that's massive,
I'll
man.
give them all the knowledge I can give, all the advice I can give, etc. And RB as a whole gives them a platform to deliver.
Is that, what league is that you're in?
So we're in the Barnet Sunday League.
Barnet, okay.
Good teams, I must say.
Yeah.
Some of them are doing very well in the Sunday FA Cup, so it just shows how strong the league is. But we're taking it by storm. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying the ride.
Definitely going to keep an eye out.
Yeah, no, definitely. What do you make of? It's not controversial. What do you make of the Lambeths, the Dons? Have you seen? Obviously,
I love it. Honestly, like
Who's the best?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not.
sorry.
Who's the best?
Yeah, who would you? Obviously, you're gonna back your team, but let's put your team to the side.
Put my team to the side.
Yeah, for a second.
Because all right, let me put it out there. Rising Ballers is, I'd say, number 1.
Okay.
Purely because of the aim that we have, and in terms of, this is opinions, obviously. The age.
Okay.
The age plays a massive factor in myself. A lot of these other Sunday teams, and no fault of their own, they could do what they want.
Yeah.
They have experienced players that have played the game, that have been through it. My boys have been through nothing, and they're turning teams over. So I believe that we are the best. Tough. You're going to make me say something that...
Sorry, man. It's just opinions. It's opinions.
No, I'll be honest with you. I've got a lot of love for the Dons, for Kenningwell, for Beatties, for hashtags. I think they all have a purpose. They've all done so well in terms of putting light onto Sunday League.
Yeah.
I'd say, obviously, everyone knows one game that we're looking forward to, and that's RB versus the Dons.
Okay.
So, you know, it's not a case of
calling people out,
or anything like that. If the game happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, then so be it. We're both busy teams in terms of hectic schedules. Can't happen during the season, like you said. But we have been in talks in the past, I must say. But it's not been something where it's forced. It's what obviously the fans want, or supporters. I don't like saying fans.
Yeah.
It's what the supporters want.
Yeah.
But like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, we're happy with how we're getting along.
100%.
They're more than happy with how they're getting on. I see their progress.
It is a sign of like mutual respect at the end of the day.
Listen, I'm a guy that, you know, I respect other teams of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you gotta put your hand up and say they're doing a big thing right now.
I think as well, when you look, we're going to be at the Dons Lambeth game Sunday.
Okay.
So when this got announced, everyone was like, "Oh, big!" But the respect that's paid, the respect part that's being played at the minute, there's no trash talk. Whereas a lot of other clubs are rare.
Yeah,
so there's more. If anyone is talking nonsense, it's people who aren't part of
the
both clubs.
yeah.
And both clubs know they're going to have a very tough game against each other.
Yeah.
And it's a case of more. We'll see Sunday.
We'll see. So what time's kickoff?
I think is it 10? Yeah.
Because you know what it was. Clubs were saying, can't the Dons and the Lambeth game move to 2? So clubs can play and go.
That would be good. They would get a good crowd.
Well, listen, if RB gets called off, I'll be there to watch.
Love that.
I'll come down and watch and see.
And scout.
Hey, I do a lot of that, I must say.
Do you know what, man? So it's hard because you lot live quite a journey away. But one of the biggest things is if you win that league, the Barnet League, are you looking to stay in that league?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It all depends of how big of the gap and the margin is from us and the other teams. Right now, I would say the teams that we've played, and no fault of their own, my team's just talented. They haven't really challenged us as much.
Okay.
Score lines reflect that. But it will definitely be a sit down and talk at the end of the season and see what happens. But there is still hope for that league. You know, we still love being a part of it. But yeah, we never know what happens in the future.
Yeah.
And we made that very, very clear at the start in the sense of, you know, it was very hard for us to get into the league at first. There was a lot of logistics behind it, etc. But when it did happen, I would say some of the teams obviously knew about us.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't too happy that we joined. But that's football. And we'll see what happens in the near future.
Love that.
So, we've got to the end of our agenda. And we've got 4 minutes left, so that means we've had a very good time. Maz, I just want to thank you for, as I said, taking time out of your day to come
worries.
down.
Thank you very much for having me.
Listening to your story on YouTube and then listening to it here, it's a great story for young people to listen to. My question is now, have you got any? If you had a message for young people right now who are going through what you've been through, what would it be?
Never give up. At the end of the day, you know.
That's how you know me.
No, you lot are. Obviously, I'm talking to footballers here, but in general, never give up. Always chase your dreams. You never know what's around the corner. One door might close, another definitely opens. That's how life works.
Yep.
So don't be too down. Don't be so high because, you know, like I said, that you know things can. Yeah, find that balance. Stay humble. Stay grounded. And the key thing is, in terms of sport or anything in life in general, is just mentality and how you see things. All about perspective. So you think positive, you do positive. But all in all, a message is hard work, man. You got to put in the work. You don't put in the work. We spoke about it before previously. You know, you can't expect results. You know, results happen for a reason because you've mashed in work and you've done the ugly bit.
You know about that. Last week, he's been, bro. He come to my house the other day to do commentary, and he left mine at 1:30. And I was knackered. I was knackered after just a 3 hours sitting there. He went home to carry on editing. So like,
work ethic is key. Work ethic is key. I mean, don't know if you lot follow me on Instagram in terms of the Gaffer Maz. You know, I try and post content continuously, but it's not because I'm just posting it so people think that I'm working. No, it's to show that, you know, I might not have made it as a footballer, but I'm going to make it as a coach hopefully one day. And I'm just showing them my journey, that it is possible. So always think big. Everyone's got a bright future ahead. And yeah, man, just stay positive.
That's good.
Smiles on your face. You play better when you have a smile on your face.
Cool. And Maz,
do you know what? When we was talking about the best player, you mentioned the professional best player, but I think we're still missing that semi-pro. And there might be some viewers like, no, he might have mentioned me. So, who would you say the best player is semi-pro circuit that you've played with or against?
Semi-pro that I've played with
or against.
Played with probably Billy Crook.
Billy Crook. The name rings a bell, but I can't.
Listen, he was with me at Braintree. He was at Enfield. Currently, right now at what's that team called? Starts with a D. Man.
Not Dorking.
Derry.
Not Dorking. No.
They're pro.
They're in the National League South. Dartford.
Dartford.
Currently at Dartford. Central midfielder. Listen, I backed myself in midfield of a number 8. I had to hand him that number 8 here. Absolute baller, I must say. So he's definitely up there, man. But
I love that.
No, I've been lucky to play with a lot of players, man. Charles Banyar. So yeah, man, I know quite a lot.
Yeah, like that,
I've been lucky in terms of both scenes. I must say.
Cool. Last thing, Maz. What's your social media for your work, and what's the Rising Ballers social media shout out so we can put it up?
At Rising Ballers FC, at the Gaffer Maz.
Cool. Maz, again, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
UrFreshTVSport.
Appreciate that, my bro.
Thank you, FOE Extra, episode 8. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Follow, subscribe, all of that, like.
All of that. That's a bit of me in the commentary.
And it's a wrap.
Oh, man.
I love that, boy.